Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do start, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. We had Deku, and we also had his reputation as Iron Man. Now, Izuku has been taking up the reputation ever since Tony Stark died, and Whiplash was unaware that Izuku was not Tony Stark until he tried to encounter him. Izuku took the man down and took his tech, a quote-unquote prototype design for an arc reactor. Now, Deku, he also was going to encounter Captain America, but before Cap could really talk to the boy, Deku, he left. And that does mean quite a lot. Now, Izuku, he is looking more and more into development for his Mark II, and he just needs to figure out how to make a better power source. Using what he does know already from the Mark I's power source and Whiplash's technology, he could do quite a bit. Whiplash's technology is good, even if it is made out of scrap, and that does mean quite a lot. He's heard rumors about what Tony Stark could do with scrap, and this isn't too far off. At least that's what he does think. He is trying to make his armor better, improve the designs, and figure things out for it. However, there is still one more thing he needs to do before he gets done with the power source. Paint it. Figure out what colors he wants the armor to be. And that, it's a bit tricky actually. Go for the classic red and gold, or switch things up. Show people that he's not Tony Stark, but he's his own superhero. I mean, people keep calling him Iron Lad, and he hates that. But maybe he could change that up a bit. I mean, take on Iron Man's name, but not be remembered exactly like him. Be known as being different. It's certainly an idea. Izuku, he just doesn't want to be compared to Tony. Tony was a genius, and he's just hoping one day he can get there even close to that level. Now, with that being said, class does let out, and Izuku, he does still have a lot on his mind. With how close the Mark II is nearly done to completion, he's thinking about the Mark III. The Mark I, it's very heavy. It's very strangely designed. He wanted to make the idea for it to be portable, but the Mark I couldn't be like that. The Mark II, I mean, in theory it's portable, but at the same time it's not. He'd have problems with recharging it, problems storing it, and he's pretty sure taking it off would just be how you would any other armor. Step out of it, and that's it. It just goes stiff as a board. Or, well, metal in this case. So the Mark III. The Mark III shouldn't focus as much on armor, but if that's the case, then he needs to think about something for that. If the Mark III could be his portable armor, or if we can even just get him back to the armory for the Mark II, that would be good. Though, in actual combat situations, what can the Mark III do overall and improve over the Mark II? Shields? That's a possibility. Interesting idea, too. But a shield generator? Now there's an idea. The Mark II could focus more on lightweight combat. At the same time, however, it could also protect him from heavy artillery. Okay, so this one, it goes for more speed and power and more evasiveness, rather than confrontation. Okay. Though if the power source is strong enough, Deku not paying attention. And out of somebody, they would actually turn and bump into Deku. And Deku, he also does a turn a lot more alarmed since the coffee does go flying across his shirt. And Deku, he actually just won't stand there for a second. The person actually going to start back up and look at him surprised. I'm sorry. "Hmm? You're fine. Though it was an iced coffee, so at least my luck's not that bad." Deku bring his hand up and looking at his shirt. Well, that sucks. I do apologize. Um, I think I'm a bit lost. Do you mind helping me out? What do you need? I was hoping to know where engineering classes would be. Engineering classes. Yes. Possible. Well, possibly the classes for engineering and just basic machinery. Deku gonna turn, pointing out. It would be over there. He's in that class. He could take it right now, but he's a little bit busy. Just go to the building, go around, and it should be the third door on the left. That's where the main shop is. Hmm? Really? Thank you. No worries. Though, are you going to be in my class? I should be, yes. Wait, you're in that class too? Yeah. So, I just want to say, next time, how about we both watch where we're going? Now, there goes a turn. I'm going to walk off this girl's, does actually going to bring her hand up. Hang on, can I get your name? Hmm? Izuku. Her bring her hand up. Sasha. Deku turning and looking down at her hand. As she does go to express. If he's not the type to shake hands or be, well, expressive that way, she doesn't understand. Though she thought it would just be a nice courtesy, especially after she poured her coffee all over him. And Deku, he has to bring his hand up. Him shaking hers, talking about how it definitely is a nice idea, especially if the two might end up working together on a project. No harm done. Right. So, anyways, I gotta go. We're gonna turn and walk off. And Deku, he does get a turn and walk away. Right now, him heading home. As Orville does arrive, his dad is a bit confused as to why there's coffee on the front of his shirt. And Deku, he does try to express a few things about what happened. Now, after Deku does arrive, he does get a head out, heading to the armory. As Orville does get to arrive, he's got a lot going through his head. And he does even try to tell Friday to begin designs on the Mark III. However, strip it down to its bare components. And Friday does ask for Deku to specify. And Deku does try to at least tell her. Enough armor coverage for protection, but not enough to be a heavy piece of technology. Maybe make the suit around, let's say, 100 pounds. Something like that. And Friday, she does try to ask Izuku if he does believe that this is the optimal idea. And Deku does try to tell her. He's certain it would be a good idea. 100 pounds is heavy, but it should be enough to be portable. If he can break this suit down to this much, he wants to see how far he can take it, especially before it does start to get actually dangerous. And Friday does make a note of that, as right as somebody else, they have a few things going on. Now, there actually is Deku, who today does decide to put the finishing touches on the Mark II. And he gets it done by the end of the week. Now, with that, I want to say Deku has been Iron Man for about 4 months. So things have definitely been kind of intriguing. And it has definitely been quite nice. Deku, he wants to do a lot. And currently, he does sit there in the Mark II, bring his hands up, and he's going to make notes in his head about everything. Especially because certain things about the suit definitely need to be adjusted. And he does even try to tell Friday about this. Now, Deku does stand there. Currently, him in the sleek suit, as he does stand there, looking at the shiny metal of his hands. It's very interesting, this one. Deku, he has to take off and test out the Mark II. And Friday does get to give him the performance of the suit. how well it's performing, how well it might be in tests and simulations, and exactly how well it actually is. Friday is adjusting her parameters to everything about the suit, and she is marking things accordingly. And by the end of the day, Izuku, he does understand what the performance of the suit might be at. It's definitely better than the one he made. Or, well, salvaged, I mean. And that does make Izuku feel a little bit more prideful. He was able to re-engineer Stark Tech and make it his own. And he made it better. It certainly is nice. Izuku, he has a land in the armory. Right now, him talking to Friday about what to do and what might be the plans for the next suit, and possibly what to do about this one. Now, Deku, he has a step backwards out of the suit, and he does go to bring his hand up. Him turning and putting his hand on the suit's shoulder as he has to tell her, for right now, put the suit up and be on standby. He does want her to be ready for whenever he does give her the pattern, if not the possible color scheme for this one. Color scheme. They're going to turn his head. And right now seeing Nick Fury. Oh, God. Who are you and how did you get in here? They're going to take a step back and about to turn to get into the suit. However, Fury, he does get to tell Izuku, bring up his own hands. That won't be necessary. Who are you? Fury. I'm a shield. How do I know that? The man bringing his hand up and going to actually pull out his wallet with his badge on it. I expect Izuku going to actually turn and toss it over. There's all the information he could want. And Deku goes to bring his hand up, catching the wallet and looking down at it. Seeing the shield badge. Right. So, this guy must be the real Nick Fury. Oh, come on. Deku going to turn and toss the wallet back, asking him exactly what might he be doing here inside the armory. Well, young man, you see, I was looking for Iron Man. However, I was quite surprised to find out that Tony Stark really is dead. I thought perhaps maybe you were... what? Life model decoy, possibly a robot, an AI he maintains and creates. Gotta say, quite surprised to find that it's an actual flesh and blood kid. What's more surprising is the fact that he left you all of this. You get supplies from Stark Industries. You get funding from them. And from what I can tell, you've got quite a bit of stuff you really shouldn't have. Like, for instance, access to this place. And how did you get in here? Young man, that's classified. Okay. Are you here to arrest me? Because I won't let you take me in. No, no. But you see, that attitude of yours, just like Mr. Stark, gotta say, we need that right now. I'm with S.H.I.E.L.D., and I'm not here to arrest you. In fact, I'm going to step forwards, telling Izuku, he's actually here to talk to him. There's a lot going on in the world, and he doesn't seem to understand a thing about it, does he? What do you mean? Young man, how secure exactly is this facility? As far as I know, only Tony Stark knew about it. Good. That means this place isn't bugged. I had a chance to look around earlier, but I didn't know if I found anything. So, you want to go ahead and tell me exactly what's going on with all this? The why, the how, the when? Not really, no. Good. I do have to say, Tony Stark died several months ago. And the fact that a kid, let alone a 15-year-old, is taking up his mantle is quite a bit. So, kid, I've got a few questions to ask you. How much do you really know about what's going on? Now, Deku is a little confused, since he doesn't understand the question really. What do you mean? I'm asking you, boy, have you met the Avengers? How many superheroes you've been in contact with? And if you do understand exactly what actually happened to Tony Stark? I understand quite a bit. I talked to him before he died. He gave me the watch and gave me a test. The world needs an Iron Man. I passed his test, and now I have his tech. Some of it, at least. You do. You do. So, I'm gonna ask you this. Have they made you aware yet, whoever is funding this little operation of yours, that Stark servers were broken into last night? What? Yeah, Stark servers were broken into. Data was taken. In fact, Stark Industries, they're locking down and trying to purge many of their servers of a lot of data. And from my understanding, the Iron Iron Man armory, the actual armory for Tony Stark, it is being locked down and secured heavily by Stark Industries. So, I do have to say one thing. Out of everything I've seen so far, I can clear you as a suspect. Why would I be a suspect? You're using his tech, and other people might have his tech now. They might have detailed blueprints and understand how to make certain things. Do you understand that, kid? I do. Good. Now understand this. There's a lot going on. A lot of things I'm not too clear about myself. And that is a problem and an issue for me. Do you understand? I do. Do you? Do you really? You're the head of a top secret government organization made public. I'm sure you do a lot of things you'd rather not have people know about. Along with that, the fact that you found me and you haven't arrested me or done anything like that tells me you work outside of the perimeters of the law. You do certain things legally and you do certain things illegally. As far as I know, you do what you need to for the greater good. But even then, the definition of that likes to change a lot, doesn't it? Smart kid. You could say that, yes. However, there's a lot more than just that. The reason why I came here so urgently wasn't to talk to you about the Stark servers. It was to talk to you about Stark Industries and Avengers Tower. Okay, so what about Avengers Tower? You want me to meet the Avengers? No, kid. I'm giving you a warning about them. A warning? Yes. After some recent events, it's hard to pin down what exactly has been happening. But one thing has been made quite clear. From our own internal data and looking at a few things, I've talked to Black Widow. Stark Industries, their servers went dark. The day Iron Man died, security footage was deleted. Entire days worth of security footage. 24 hours. Now, under normal circumstances, that wouldn't be suspicious. But fact of the matter is, put a few of these pieces together, and they form a bit of a pattern. Somebody walked into that building, and they walked out without ever being seen. Does that make sense? It does. So, this wasn't done in a linear fashion, like a full straight 24 hours. As far as we can tell, no. Data is spotty, at best, but from what we do understand, information was deleted. Files are gone. And many of them, they all center around 24 hours before Iron Man's death, and even an hour after his surgery. An hour after? He survived his surgery? As far as we can tell, it's possible. The Avengers have been tight-lipped. But that's because no one has asked them yet. Like I said, Black Widow. I've talked to her. She wasn't there inside the building, and everyone else, they don't really know what to say. So, Tony died after his surgery. Unconfirmed, but believed to be so right now, yes. What do you mean, believed to be so? I'm saying it's all speculation. So far, the best operative I have is giving me conflicting information. People are saying different things. Many think he died on the operating table, and some think he actually survived the operation and died later on. Though, if that's the case, then I don't believe it. As stubborn as that man is, he survived. So I'm thinking that Tony Stark was murdered. You think one of the Avengers murdered Tony? It's a possibility, but I didn't want to flat out say it. But who would do that? They're all superheroes. As far as I am aware, son, everybody in that building is a vigilante. Though because of what they do and what they have done already, we allow them to continue their crusades. Because it's in our best interest. We can't jail them, so we let them run free. Are you serious? Yes, sort of like what we're going to do with you. You're new blood. You don't know anything about what's going on. As far as I'm aware, your only interest is keeping the Iron Man mantle alive. So, here's what I'll do. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to leave some information with you. I want you to look it over and check it out. If you're anywhere near as smart as Mr. Stark, you'll figure out this entire little puzzle. Figure out who may have killed Tony, and then we can go forward. Go forward? Kid, I'm pretty sure this is a plot by somebody. A scheme? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a scheme. If it isn't, that's even more suspicious. Someone did it just because they could. If it's part of a greater plan or a bigger picture, that I can believe. I don't believe it was just random. Paranoid. Gotta be paranoid in my line of work, kid. Deal with ancient gods and mythical creatures. And aliens. Right. Deku looking down. Fury gonna bring his hand out of his pocket and set down a USB. Him gonna turn and walk away. And Deku, he has a turn looking at that. Right now he doesn't want to view the information. Because it brings up way too many questions. Tony Stark being murdered? Not just dying on the operating table, but the Avengers possibly lying about him? That doesn't make sense. But why would they lie? Who would lie? There's something going on with the superhero community. Okay. That's not good. Now, Deku does head home, and he doesn't really get a lot of sleep. He's trying to think about people who could be of interest, people he could look into because of their suspicious nature. And it does mean quite a bit. Izuku wants to look into this because of a few more reasons as well. If one of the superheroes are possibly compromised, may have been brainwashed, taken over, it would be a good lead to look into, right? I mean, Thor, Hulk, those two are pretty powerful people, and were they there at the tower that day? No. Find out who was there at the tower, and find out who murdered Tony Stark. But did he actually get murdered, though, or is this just this guy being paranoid? Maybe look at the information and check it out there. Put it on an isolated terminal and make sure it's not some sort of bomb for his network. Do that and then go forward. That on Izuku's mind. And there actually is the next day at school, where Deku, he is messing with one of his projects, however, he is a little bit more tired. And Sasha, she's going to walk up. Right now, her actually somewhat investigating Izuku's project. Him tinkering away at the table as she's to ask him what he's working on. Oh, this. It's a bit complicated, but it's a prototype. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Just didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Was trying to redesign and rework this thing. It's supposed to be a bit easy, but it's getting a little bit more complicated. So, what is it? So far, it's hard to say. Trying to make a hovercraft is not easy. Trying to make a hover bike is harder, especially whenever you're limited on resources and technology. Along with that, trying to develop something that could possibly even float. Now, Sasha's gonna look around, her seeing Izuku's notebook, her asking if the designs are there, on the page, and Deku's to turn, him setting down his tool carefully and walking over, grabbing his notebook and flipping it over to a page. As he does it, hold it out to her and talk about it. He doesn't know she'll understand this, but, interesting. You understand this. I do, but I think there's a design flaw. What do you mean? Well, right here. Her pointing something out. And Deku does look down. Her trying to express. It looks like this piece right here doesn't match up over here. Along with that, if those two aren't matching up, couldn't there be a problem? You're right about that. Shit, did I miss that in my last look over? No, Izuku, you've just been too busy with the armor. Right. Maybe actually properly try and focus your research on this stuff too. Cut down your time as Iron Man. Now, Deku does this on yawn, and Sasha does gonna point out. Not get a lot of sleep? Yeah. My bad. I've been really tired lately. Right. Listen, how about I help you redesign this? And as a way to apologize for spilling coffee on you the other day, I get you a cup of coffee. Coffee does sound good right now. Though, how about a mocha? Oh, I see. Stimulate the part of your brain. Correct. You understood that. I did, yes. In fact, I do have to say, a warm mocha on a cold day is really good. You're right about that, yeah. Now, Deku just started to talk to Sasha. And Sasha is a little bit more surprising to him. She's intelligent. And she understands what he's trying to do. He's trying to make a experimental hovercraft. Trying to get this down properly with a lot of the funding that he does have is interesting, but it may not work. Just getting this thing to hover off the ground a few feet before it falls down and breaks, it could show remarkable ingenuity. And someone could actually want to pick up his project. Though, in the most literal sense, getting it off of the ground will be the hardest part. Because without doing that, he won't get enough money to make it real. Now, with that being said, Deku, he is still trying to design the gravity engine, as we'll call it. And Sasha does want to talk to him a bit more. Especially because Izuku is a futurist, like her. Like-minded in his goals. Now, while that is all happening, let's cut over to Justin Hammer. The man's old. The man has been through quite a lot. However, if there is one achievement he can be really proud of, truly proud of, it is the fact that he outlived Tony Stark. His plans are all coming together. Everything is coming together. And right now, Ghost, he does get to reappear. Him setting down the data on the desk, informing Justin Hammer about how their deal is done. Quite right about that. You'll receive payment. I will. Though, this stuff wasn't easy to get. I did have to do a lot. I'm well aware of that. You can go now. Right now, Ghost's gonna turn. Him disappearing as he's gonna walk away. And Hammer's got a lot going through his head. His plans are coming together. He has tech and data on Iron Man's suit, blueprints. So, that should be good, right? It should be great for him. Though he feels a little empty. He outlived Tony Stark, and his tech is going to take a massive leap, a massive boom. Once he implements all this into his own designs, he'll be better. His industry might overtake Stark's, and he'll be the best tech developer in the world. So why does it feel a little hollow? Why does he feel annoyed? Why does he feel angry? Why doesn't he feel happy? And that's the biggest question right now, and just in Hammer's mind. As he's a turn and look at a massive suit, thinking about everything. It might be time for him to make a return. Possibly, maybe. Or maybe he needs to bring someone else in. Maybe that is what should happen. With Tony Stark gone, somebody needs to be at the helm. Someone needs to actually be better, be the best, be great. And that, it does linger in Hammer's mind, as he's going to walk back over and pour himself some fine brandy. Him going to think about everything as he's going to connect his computer to the data on the Stark Industries drive. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.